it's Jodi Sedini from Market Like a Nerd, and I am here live for our Q&A Fridays. Amanda's going to be hopping on with me because we're going to do this together. And Amanda should be hopping on and requesting to join. Let's see how this goes.
Hey!
Woo! We did it!
Yay!
It was just an echo. I don't know if anybody else is hearing that.
Let me check. I'm gonna go to it from my computer. What is that?
That's really loud. Really loud. Okay, bear with us while we're figuring out the here. Give us just a minute.
Yeah, there is an echo. The only thing I can think is that I need to put headphones on.
I could try that. Okay, hold on.
I like
I can only put one in my left ear because my right eardrum is ruptured.
Ooh, good. All right, let me see if that's helping.
It just sounded a little bit better. I'm still echoing though. I see that there's a few people watching. Do you guys hear an echo? I think we're delayed a little bit too.
There's still a really bad echo. Let me hop off, get headphones, and then come back on.
Okay, cool. If you can figure that out. Oh, she's just gonna walk away. Okay. I wasn't sure if she was gonna jump off the live. Okay. Do you guys hear an echo? I'm gonna check with my team. Waiting for Amanda to get her headphones, and then we'll get started with our Q&A. In the meantime, check out my vintage Market Like a Nerd shirt, which I got when I was a client of Amanda's. Oh dear, now she's gone. All right, trying to get the kinks worked out here. Let's see if it is now.
Okay, I have headphones on. Can you hear me?
That's so much better! Yay!
All right, well, it was my fault. Sorry.
Well, it could have been both of us, actually, because it was like echoing both ways.
Well, now we know, and knowing's half the battle. G.I. Joe!
So if you haven't figured out by now, we're not just marketing nerds. We're just nerds.
We're just nerds. Love it. All right, guys.
I was just telling people that I have on a vintage Market Like a Nerd shirt.
I know. When you were putting your headphones on, I was actually saying, I like your shirt, but you didn't hear me. Yeah.
Oh, no, I didn't hear you.
Yeah. But I like it. I have on a Wonder Woman shirt.
Oh, badass. I like that shirt.
Yerp, yerp. All right, Q&A Friday. So what we're going to be doing now is every Friday we're going to be collecting questions from you guys, from the audience, and then Jodi and I are going to pop on a live stream and answer these questions for you. So we already have some questions that people submitted in advance, and we'll answer some of those pre-submitted questions. But then if you guys come up with any questions as you're watching this, feel free to post in the comments and we'll answer those as well. So let me pull up the pre-submitted ones. So I know Tina sent one asking, what strategies did you use to get 4K subscribers in 1 month? So,
hot dang, 4,000
yeah.
subscribers in 1 month.
So, and this was right before one of our really big launches. Basically, every time we do a really big launch, like 120K, 150K, 562K, every time we do a really big launch, hopefully you guys notice this if you haven't picked up on it yet. Usually there's a really big list build on the front end of that, because what we want to do is we want to get an influx of new blood, an influx of prospects into our mailing list, into our community, nurture those relationships, and then put offers in front of them. It's the formula we use over and over and over and over again that works really, really well. So every time that I do an influx of subscribers, every time I do those list builds, it's honestly done one of 3 ways, or some combination there, or I guess one of 4 ways or some combination thereof. It's usually either a list building giveaway, a list building telesummit, a publicity push where I go and like I'm on a bunch of podcasts, or I'm on a bunch of guest blogs, or I'm on a bunch of features, or it's Facebook ads. Those are really the only 4 things in our company that we have ever done for years and years and years when it comes to list building, because they are the best ways to list build. Telesummits, giveaways, PR, and Facebook ads. That's all you really need. If you want to build up a mailing list, that's all you've really got to be doing. Now, the 4K in 1 month, that was telesummits. So I actually did 2 telesummits back to back. And I think one built like a 3,000 person mailing list and the other one built a 1,000 person mailing list. I've switched more recently into doing giveaways, actually with Jodi's help, because when Jodi and I became business partners, Jodi, her team, we kind of merged team. So I had some team members, she had some team members, and my team members were really well versed in summits, but her team members were really well versed in giveaways. And so we wanted to try out giveaways, and I found that with telesummits, you build a slightly smaller list, but it's way more nurtured. And with giveaways, you build a much bigger list, but it's not quite as nurtured. So I hope that makes sense. So that's my answer to Tina's question.
Perfect. So 2 list building telesummits, one brought in 3,000 subscribers, one brought in 1,000 subscribers for a total of 4K subscribers. That's awesome.
Yep.
And then I put in the comments too, the 4 things that Amanda mentioned. So list building with giveaways, telesummits, publicity pushes, or Facebook ads.
Perfect. I love summaries. That makes me happy. All right. So Jen sent in another question that kind of dovetails off of that. So it's kind of long. I'll just go ahead and read it. She said, when you're first starting out and you want to do it all, overachiever syndrome, like set up website, list building, building social media, webinars, speaking, etc. But the bottom line is getting clients. What one thing should a person focus on? Or better yet, what order would you suggest people tackle tasks? Otherwise, it can get very overwhelming. With my work as a happiness coach, I help ambitious women who look like they have it all, but they feel empty and lost inside. I show them how to prioritize, reduce overwhelm, and focus on what matters most. But with respect to business overwhelm, even I get sucked into that black hole of wanting to get it all done at once. Would love to hear your take on this. So I think this is actually, there's two answers to this. One is what's the step-by-step that you should focus on? And I think the second is just some tips on how to reduce overwhelm and figure out what to focus on. So I think one is honestly going through the Operation Cash Flow Mastermind, like curriculum, like what we do there, because that's, I mean, that it really is the step-by-step. And then second is going over our cadence. So do you want to, which one do you want to handle?
I'll do the cadence.
Okay, cool. All right, so then I'll start. So Jennifer, in terms of what to tackle first when you're just starting out, I know it's really tempting to go and try to do everything, because when you're new, you're like excited and you want to learn everything and you want to try everything and you think you need this and you think you need that. And you're trying to consume so much information that in consuming that information from all of these different places, everyone is telling you something different and you're trying to like listen to everyone. And so you try to do everything. And it, like you said, it just becomes so incredibly overwhelming. And so, you know, through the course of opening up multiple businesses, because here's the truth, when I first started out, I was the same way as you, Jennifer. I was trying to do everything too. And I got very overwhelmed. And so my first couple businesses were like, yeah, they were okay. And then I got better and better and better and better and better at it. So, you know, for example, one of our more recent sister companies that we opened, Fame for Good, that one, it took a year and we were already at 6 figures, automated income, having like a really advanced business structure where we're really not working in the business that much at all and we're still generating income. So it didn't take long at all. And then even like in this past quarter, that company quadrupled its income in 1 quarter. So, you know, having done this so many times, and now I'm much better at knowing what to focus on. And so you can kind of learn from my trial and error. So based on my trial and error, what I've learned is that when you're first starting out, the most important things, there's really only 2 things. You need to set up a sales funnel that generates an automated way for you to get leads and get sales calls on the calendar. And then you need to master the art of sending traffic to it. The art and the science. It's a bit of both. So get a funnel and then send traffic to it. And that's really all you should be focusing on when you're first starting out. You don't even need a website because your sales funnel can serve as the website. Like in our Operation Cash Flow Mastermind, we've got clients where we're building their sales funnels for them. We're doing the list building, the traffic generation for them. And there have been so many of them who have come to us and been like, Amanda, but like, what do I do about my website? Or Amanda, do I need a website to do this program? I'm like, no, because we're not even going to be sending, you don't even send traffic to your website at all for like your first year. You really don't. Because it's useless. You should be sending traffic into those sales funnels. So the 2 skills that you really need to master when you're first starting out, or the 2 hires that you need to make if you don't want to master those skills, are sales funnels and traffic. And that's it. Forget everything else. You don't need to worry about being on all this social media. You don't need to worry about websites and branding. And I love branding. I am huge on branding, but 9 times out of 10, the people that we're doing branding for, they've been in business for a while and they're rebranding or they're finally branding after having made money. Like I already hit 6 figures multiple times before I created Market Like a Nerd. And even in Fame for Good, the company that is about branding, that's what Fame for Good does. We launched that business and got it to 6 figures before we even worked on our own brand.
What?
Right? A branding company launched it before even doing our own branding. So that tells you something.
Absolutely.
Right? All right. So that's my answer in terms of what what people should tackle first when they're first starting out. Ignore all of the noise, just focus on get those sales funnels up and then send traffic to them, and that's it. So now, Jodi, I want you to talk a little bit about how to, like, what we do in our cadence that allows for us to really reduce our business overwhelm and get out of that black hole of trying to do everything.
Yes, and we know that black hole, and thankfully we've gotten clarity on the process to get out of that black hole. So what we do is we take and we assess each of the components of the business. So attract, nurture, convert, deliver, and then resell and operate. And so we take each of those and we give ourselves a score. And how are we doing in each of those areas? So obviously attract is how we're bringing people into the business, how we're being visible. Nurture is how we're nurturing the people on our list, how we're getting them to we're really building that know, like, and trust factor. Convert is how are we selling to them? These are sales funnels, these are phone calls, launches. Deliver is how are you delivering? How is that going? Are people getting the value out of what you're delivering? Or do you have a team that, like, we need to shore up how the team is delivering things? Resell is obviously, getting people to buy your products again and again and again. And then operate. So the business functions, like your finances. And I know so many people that don't keep track of their business finances, and you cannot make good decisions if you don't know what's happening in your business financially. So taking each of those steps and giving yourself a score. So if you have, let's say we had those on a chart, okay, from like left to right: attract, nurture, convert, deliver, operate, or resell is before operate. You take whichever one you have the lowest score in to the left and work on that. That's what you focus on. So that could be for an entire 90 days is you'd be focusing on that. So if your lowest score is in attract, then you're going to be focusing on that big time. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to go and do your own Facebook ads or do your own PR. That means that you're probably going to want to focus on hiring the right company to do that for you, or shooting a crap load of Facebook ad videos, or going live all the time to nurture, or to build up a warm audience so that you can run Facebook ads to a warm traffic. So whatever score you have the lowest of is what you focus on.
Now, if someone has pretty even scores, like let's say someone is starting out and they're like 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. For that one, I would say focus on the one that's the most critical, which if you're just starting out, it's usually convert and attract. That, like I said, it's funnels and traffic, which is really convert and attract. So if you're just starting out and you're doing these evaluations of your business model and where you're at from attract, nurture, convert, deliver, resell, operate, if you're pretty level, or even if you're not starting out, like maybe you're far ahead in business, but you're still kind of at a level like 1 everywhere, 2 everywhere, you probably want to focus on convert and attract.
Mm-hmm. Or even if you have like a high score in delivery, but you're manually selling and you're manually delivering, those people that are constantly just selling like one-on-one coaching, that's where you would want to work on convert. And also deliver, because then you want to automate the delivery of that program too.
Yeah. Now, and I will say too, this doesn't mean that you ignore or forget the other functions and the other parts of your business model. Like if we do this every quarter, so every single quarter we have a meeting where we go through and we evaluate, attract, nurture, convert, deliver, resell, operate in our company. And we'll come up with ideas for every single solitary, function, every single solitary part of the business model. Like, here's what we could do for attract. Here's what we could do for nurture. Here's what we could do for convert, deliver, resell, operate. And when we decide, okay, we're just going to focus on, convert for this quarter, we still document all of those ideas. We have a spreadsheet called, I think it's business model project ideas or core function project ideas. And throughout the quarter, and also in that meeting, we can go and we can put in all of our ideas so that the next quarter, when we are doing the evaluations again, let's say now it's not convert, it's operate. Well, now we can pull from all of the ideas that we had in the past. So we're not forgetting them and we're not ignoring them. We're just putting them on hold, which is something that a lot of entrepreneurs struggle with, is putting things on hold.
Yes, absolutely. Because putting something on hold sometimes feel like, oh my gosh, I'm never going to get to that. But we can even assign it a quarter, like, okay, we're not going to get to that in Q2, or we're not going to get to that in Q3. So let's assign it to Q4 and know that once we get there, that as we go through the assessment of the core functions, we might still not get to that. There might be something else that's more of a priority, but at least we've got it there. We've got it kind of calendared so that we remember, oh yeah, back in Q2 when we went through this, we said we needed to work on this. Is that still a priority, or is it something that's not a priority? Or maybe like in the background, we kind of fixed the issue as we were working on other things.
Oh yeah. You know what? That's a good point too. Is it still a priority is a good question. Because what we do too is in that sheet where we're putting in all of our ideas for each of the functions, we will we'll categorize it as, is this critical? Is it highly recommended? Or is it non-critical? Because when you ask that question, it makes it really easy for you to decide, is this something that I should really be focusing on right now? Or is this actually a distraction? Because 9 times out of 10, the things that entrepreneurs are working on, they're just distractions.
Agreed.
And,
agreed.
I feel like we have such a hard time putting things on hold because we're creative, we're visionaries, we want to be doing these things. But here's the deal, guys, your business is always going to have problems. There's always going to be projects to be working on. You're always going to have ideas. And so if you're in the mindset that you have to work on everything right now and everything has to get done, guess what? You are always going to be working. You are always going to feel stuck and you are always going to feel overwhelmed. So you need to get used to the idea that it is okay to procrastinate. It is okay to put some things on hold. You don't have to do everything right now. You only need to be working on the things that are actually critical for your business. And you figure out what's critical by doing those evaluations of your business model.
Yeah. And as you do those evaluations and as you work on those things, your business income is going to go up, which also means that you need to focus on other things. And so something's always going to be broken. In fact, in the words of Alex Sharfin, who's one of our mentors, he says, your business will always be broken, or your business is broken. And if you're lucky, it always will be. As you grow. So, the luck part is that you're going to continue to grow and different things are going to break as you grow. So it's good. It's a good thing. It means that you're growing.
Yeah. You basically have to be used to and accepting of the fact that your business will never be perfect. You will never be at completion in your business. There will always be open projects. And so you have to be very good at filtering through to figure out what's a priority, what's important, what's critical, and what at this moment is a distraction.
Yeah.
And then be okay with saying no to those distractions for the time being. You can document the ideas to get them out of your head, which is really important for visionaries. I know for me, if I don't write something down, it will bother the hell out of me. Oh boy. But if I put it in that spreadsheet and I say, okay, here's a project idea that we can evaluate next quarter, all of a sudden there's that mental release and I feel so much better.
Yeah.
So
that's good.
All right, cool. So that's the answer to Tina's question, and then the answer to 2 of Jen's questions. Let's go ahead and look at the chat and see if there's any other ones that have come up. So Mary says, Operation Cash Flow Mastermind is the way to keep yourself focused. So I guess that's tip number 3. You can just join our mastermind. Stephanie says, this is very helpful. Create a sales funnel and get traffic to it even before or without building a website. Such an eye opener. Thank you, Stephanie. Yes, absolutely. You don't need a website. Actually, When I opened up Market Like a Nerd before the website was launched, I actually just used the sales funnel as my website. So years ago, when you went to marketlikeanerd.com, you didn't see the site that you see now. You just saw an opt-in page for a free gift, and it went through to a sales funnel. And that was marketlikeanerd.com. That was the website. And honestly, that was probably more effective than what we've got now. Asa says, this is great. Awesome. Mary, I'm so ready to move away from one-on-one. I love it, but I'm excited to move to automation and groups. Yes. You know, that is a transition that every coach is going to end up making. You know, at some point, when you first start, one-on-one is very easy to get because you don't need a whole lot of traffic to get it. It's, you know, you sell, as Taki Moore says, onesie twosies. Onesie twosies. And that's very easy when you don't have a whole lot of traffic. When you want to start selling group, you know, typically for a group, you need at least 10 people. And to get 10 people, you typically need at least like 100, 1,000 people in your mailing list in order to sell that. So obviously, when you're first starting out, group is a little bit harder to fill and one-on-one makes a bit more sense. Similarly, automation, very technical, requires a lot of patience. That can be a little bit harder when you're first starting out. So a lot of times people do go the one-on-one route, but that is not scalable. You can't stay there or you will get stuck there. Just like Jodi was saying, every new level that you get to, there's a new problem. Once you are full on your one-on-one schedule, well, guess what? Now you've got a new problem. Your new problem is that you are so busy with one-on-one clients, you can't possibly take on any more. And so the solution that you need at that stage is, well, you need to switch from one-on-one to group. And how do you do that? Well, you do that by creating a sales funnel to sell that automated program, and then, or to get people on the phone to sell a higher ticket group program, and then sending traffic to it. So it still goes back to that first, you know, recommendation that we had in the very beginning of this live stream. 9 times out of 10, the biggest problems that entrepreneurs have can be solved with just mastering sales funnels and traffic.
Yes. Yes.
Like if you guys notice the progression of me and my presence in Market Like a Nerd and our mailing list and our social media, I was super active for the first couple years. Why? Because I wasn't automating. I wasn't using a ton of sales funnels. So I was having to do launch after launch and tons of nurturing and tons of like manual marketing, because I didn't have I hadn't mastered funnels yet. And so I was having to spend so much time doing those things. And then I'm sure you guys noticed I disappeared. There's like the last like year and a half, 2 years or so. Fuck, I have not been on social media like at all. I haven't been in my Facebook group. I haven't been sending newsletters. I haven't been doing jack because we have sales funnels. We send Facebook ads into our sales funnels. They make the money for us, or they get the sales calls on the phone for us, and then we sell high-ticket group programs. So it's very leveraged, it's very automated, it's very passive, it's very scalable, and I haven't needed to do all of these things. Well, now we're at the point where we've got a whole business structure where we've got, you know, Jodi and I are co-CEOs. We have an operations person, an executive assistant. We've got project managers, client concierges. We've got all these members of our team members. We have employees now. Well, now I've got the time. I've got the time now to come back and start doing things like this. Yeah. So, you know, even just looking at my presence, you can see how important these funnels are and how much that that changes your energy, your time, like what you're capable of doing in your life and in your business. It's very transformational.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's been a little bit different for us because we do our own traffic, you know, internally we do Facebook ads. So instead of outsourcing that, but for typical coaches, you're creating the funnel and you send traffic to it. A lot of that times they have to outsource that. And so that's not something that's like on their business's plate either. So it has been a little bit different journey for us with running our own Facebook ads too. Super fun though.
So Stephanie said, yeah, where did you go? Like, was she noticed that I had disappeared for a while? So Stephanie, behind the scenes, in that like year and a half, 2 years, whatever, honestly, time moves so fast, I can't keep track of my own life. So I don't know. It was 1 to 2 years where I basically wasn't on social media. I wasn't sending newsletters. What I was doing was I was mastering sales funnels because I had already mastered traffic. Traffic I had mastered already. But I was mastering sales funnels so that I could get to a place where I wasn't having to do so much manual marketing. And then the other thing was I was also mastering operations so that I didn't have to be the one doing all of the work. And that's because I was at a stage where that made sense for me. We keep saying, every new level, you have a new problem. I had mastered traffic. So the next problem was I had to master, automated sales funnels. Once I mastered that, the next problem was I had to master operations. And so now I'm at the point where, because I've mastered those three things with the help of Jodi and our team, well, now I have the time and the freedom and the flexibility to be able to do things like this again without feeling like I have to,
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
So that's where I was.
Yeah. And then a couple of cruises, a few vacations.
No big deal. I mean, like, I went to Cuba and Hawaii and Costa Rica. Hawaii. I was just like everywhere. Like, I can't even keep track of where I was because I was like so many places. That's my favorite voice.
I can't wait to hear that in a Disney movie.
Oh my God, for real.
That's so funny.
Stephanie says, lesson learned, master a key area of your business that brings in business, then move on. Stay with each stage or level to mastery, then delegate. Yepperoni.
Yes.
Yepperoni.
Absolutely. You nailed it, Stephanie. Rock on.
All right, cool. Well, we'll hang around for another minute to see if anyone has any additional questions. So do you have any questions about funnels, traffic, operations, focus, figuring out what your distractions are, productivity, anything like that we've already talked about? Do you have any other deeper questions that you want us to answer about those things? And if there are questions, we'll hang around and get those answered. Stephanie says, the power team, AGP and Jodi. Yeah. We pretty good together.
We're all right.
I mean, like, I'm great. I guess you're all right.
Hey, now. I mean, I do only have half an ear.
Oh, terrible. I'm sorry. Okay. All right. I don't see any other questions coming in, so we will wrap it up here. And just so you guys know, we're going to be going live every Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern for Q&A Friday. And our executive assistant will be posting in the Facebook group, Market Like a Nerd's Facebook group, to collect questions from you guys in advance. Just like today, we had some pre-collected questions. You guys can submit those. And it can be anything. Whatever questions you have, we'll go in as much depth as you need. I feel like I should be heckling you ladies, but it's just not happening today. Oh, I love hecklers. Oh, heckle me. I have so much fun with it.
Heckle us, Lee.
Next time. All right, Lee, Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern next week. I expect some heckling.
Get your heckle on, Lee.
All right. So we'll check you guys Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern. If you have any questions, just submit it in advance. You can post it in the Facebook group, or our executive assistant will be posting in the Facebook group to, let you guys know how to submit them, to collect them. Okay. But that's it.
All right. Sounds good. We'll see you guys later.
Bye, guys.